Hey guys, welcome back to another Trick Tip Tuesday, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some techniques when you're using a belt sander or belt grinder. So, there's a number of different varieties and types of, belt sanders, belt grinders. The difference between a belt sander and a belt grinder is the speed of which they rotate. So, typically a belt sander turns at a slower RPM, and a belt grinder turns at a higher RPM. So you might hear those terms, flip-flopped and used both ways. At the end of the day, it's got a belt, and it is used to take material off of something that you are working on. So what we have here is the Radius Master, and this has a lot going on this machine. It's very versatile, gives you a lot of flexibility with what you're working on. And I'll explain some of that. Some of the other sanders I've got here is this Kalamazoo. It's a 6-inch wide by 42-inch belt on here. It does have a disc grinder on the side. And then right here, we have our multi-tool grinder that goes on a standard bench grinder. So, to kind of explain a little bit of the difference between some of these would be, this type of machine is a really good home hobbyist type attachment that you can put on a bench grinder, use in your garage. Doesn't take up a lot of space, but does a lot of good work. It can really give you the flexibility you need to be able to do the different things that you might need as far as grinding and sanding without having to use a stone wheel and that sort of thing on a normal bench grinder. So the Radius Master here, this is more of a higher end professional. It's a 2-inch wide by 48-inch belt. There is a ton of versatility here. So what we have is a couple of different wheels here that you can rotate around to give you different radiuses of grinding on that corner there. So there's a small one, more of a medium size, and then a little bit bigger here. We have an 8-inch contact wheel in the back. That when you rotate the machine around, you can use that way. So basically what you would do is on this machine, rotate this around, and you can use that contact wheel there. And then there's also this bottom contact wheel that is a 3-inch contact wheel that's going to give you that other grinding surface there. So what we have in between all of those wheels is this is a flat platen behind here that's going to give you that hard surface behind here to be able to grind against. And then we have the open belt section here where you have some slack, some flexibility in the belt. It's going to give you some different grinding capabilities. So to kind of explain some of that, now even the multi-tool over here has, we've got a flat platen up here on the top, we've got a 3-inch contact wheel here in the front, and then we do have some slack belt on the bottom. So you get that all three of those capabilities even on multi-tool there. So why would you need all those different areas when you're grinding? So there's obviously different techniques when you're grinding, different uses. So for starters, let's say you have some round tube that you've cut. You just need to deburr the edge of the tube. Sometimes a hard flat platen, it can be good. Obviously, if you just use light touch, you can deburr that real quick. But sometimes using the slack belt just gives you that little bit of flexibility in the belt, allows it to not be applying as much pressure to your part, which makes it, I guess, a little more gentle on what you're grinding. So if you start up the machine, you can very lightly apply that pressure to deburr that. Now, obviously the same can be done on a platen surface, but you'll hear the difference with the platen behind here. It's obviously going to be forcing the belt to have more pressure against your part, which it's hard to really see in the video, but really, I mean, just barely touch that corner on that edge of that tube right there. Whereas when you're doing a flat platen, it gives you the ability to put that little bit extra pressure if you want to put more of a bevel in there. So you know, if you're wanting to deburr, I would suggest the slack part of the belt. If you're wanting to maybe add a bevel onto it, you can use the flat platen side. So. And hopefully you can see there that there's a little bit more of a bevel on the edge of that, even just with that little bit of grinding we did there. So there's just a quick demonstration between the slack and the flat platen on, say, a piece of tubing. Now, a lot of people deal in laser cut parts, so laser cut brackets or even plasma cut stuff. If you're wanting to just not change the shape because you've got it cut out by a precision machine to the shape that you want it, you're not necessarily trying to take material off of the outside edge. Maybe all you're wanting to do is clean up the slag around here. So there's different ways you could do that. Obviously, if you're going up against a flat platen, it's going to be a little more aggressive on the edge of that plate. So you could definitely do that by just trying to apply a little bit of pressure, but not really giving it too much. But you're still, with the flat platen behind there, you got to be real careful because you'll take too much material off the edge of your plate and actually start changing the shape of your plate. So that's where, if it was me, I'd be going back to the slack belt part of the belt because it's going to be less aggressive on the edge of your part. And you can come around here and just lightly apply some pressure there to start removing some of that slag or, you know, the hot edge there from the laser cutting or plasma cutting. So now the reason for so many different wheels on a sander like this is the ability to be able to accomplish let's say all the different grinding aspects that you may need for one project. So a lot of guys like to use these 2-inch wide belt sanders for knife making and that sort of thing, especially when they have all these different contact wheels available because of some of the angles and the ability to do a hollow grind. You know, on a 8-inch contact wheel, it's a really common size contact wheel for doing a hollow grind for knife making and that sort of thing. So a lot of the ways I like to use a contact wheel, whether it's on a Radius Master or a multi-tool, that sort of thing, is for cleaning up the edges of a piece of metal, whether it's deburring or just trying to soften the sharp edge on there a little bit, that sort of thing. So and sometimes even actually radiusing corners. So basically, a lot of times on a contact wheel, I'll actually run down the surface of the piece of metal and then rotate my plate through the contact wheel to add that little bit of a round radius edge on that corner there. So I guess the last technique, I mean, sometimes if I'm really just trying to put a real small radius, that's when I'll use a contact wheel like that. Typically, when I'm doing a radius on a corner like that, that's when a work rest comes in really handy. So spin this back around. And when you have a work rest, it makes it real nice and easy to be able to set this on the work rest and be able to rotate the plate around. And you can easily, with a work rest like that, you can easily get a nice consistent radius on the corner of your part, that sort of thing. So as you can see, there's a lot of different uses for some of these different belt sanders. If I'm trying to grind a long straight edge like this, you you know, sometimes a grinder like this isn't as good for that. This one's got a pretty nice, you know, flat platen on here, so you can, this work rest can come off and you can use this on there. A lot of times that's where I'll go to, you know, like a bigger 6-inch wide belt sander like this, and be able to then, a lot of times instead of grinding on the work rest in this direction to get a flat surface, I find that the grind on a long straight edge is more consistent when you can press your part up against the platen on the back end of a bigger belt sander. So a lot of different techniques and things that you can use, but hopefully some of these tips and things I've shown you will give you some ideas on ways to achieve some of the grinding that you need in your shop. And you know, if you have any questions or want any more tips on sanding, please let us know. You can email us tips@Trick-Tools.com, and we can see if we can get those answered for you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.